SREDILSKCaB, the Briggs family, Chapter 4, A Blast from the Past. The Briggs family playroom was filled with the aromatic scent of Mama's recent home cooking. You could smell pigeon peas and rice, curried chicken gumbo, dark brown sugar cornbread, Kool-Aid, and her down-home favorite dessert, watermelon cake and blueberry pie. Kezani reflected briefly upon her mother's explanation of how she had Daddy to build the house to her specifications, which entailed a playroom attached to the kitchen. This was done so that she could keep an eye on her many children, and two, so that they could play, wearing themselves out, and eventually hit the sack. Needless to say, her plan worked. She thought, those were the good old days indeed. They would pile around the piano in their formal living room and sing to the Lord. It seemed as if everything was fine when they were all children and living at home. Mama and Daddy didn't play because what they couldn't pray away, the strap, as they called the belt in those days, had its proper play. This assured them that while in the Briggs home, they had to abide by the rules set forth and kept them all from doing time and falling in some worse fate as some other kids had done. At the time they had grown up, the Jackson Five were famous in the secular scene, but they had nothing on their gospel group called Blessings and Briggs. Their talent was divinely inspired. Daddy had started the group after seeing how they had moved the members of their congregation during one of Sunday's services. Since they'd made up most of the children's choir, they really didn't have a choice. Since he was the music and choir director at Disciples of All Nations, the family church, he required that each of his children sang and played an instrument for the service of the Lord. During this time, they traveled to many cities to attend conferences where they ministered in song. And upon returning home, they'd have, back then they called, a Holy Ghost party and jam for the Lord. As children, their love for God was pure. And it was beautiful to see God move on his people when they ministered in song. But that was then. Now, everything had changed in her opinion, and it all started because of the chosen one. Zabira and Kezani had been the best of friends until that dreadful day when Reverend Titus called Zabira and gave her the word. People had stopped saying, "Kezani, where'd you get that voice from?" Instead, they'd say, "Kezani, come here and bring that sister of yours too." Really, because they all wanted a word. They began to only look toward her sister for a blessing and didn't remember that she was the one who could really sing. As singers, the entire family could blow, but Kezani, she was truly anointed to sing. To her chagrin, Zabira was anointed to prophecy. The major difference between the two sisters was that Zabira was filled with the spirit of love. Kezani, though, was filled with the spirit of pride. Chapter 5. Let's get to the nitty-gritty city.